Good morning, Lancers. Please help us honor the United States of America by standing, placing your hand over your heart, and reciting the Pledge of Allegiance.
I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for a moment of silence. Thank you. Please be seated. Stand by for LVH1 news.
Good morning, Lancers. I'm Aislinn.
And I'm Christy, and this is your news for Wednesday, December 21st.
Lady Lancers lost a hard-fought battle against the Falcons.
There was a boys' game today against lacrosse at home, and the game starts at 8.
Lunch for today is ravioli with green beans, mixed vegetables, garlic bread, applesauce, and milk.
Corner Cafe is Cook's Choice. Each year, students in broadcasting do a teacher feature, and this year's teacher feature will be playing up next. And here's Maddie Johnson's.
How different is that compared to teaching high school?
Surprisingly, it's not that different. I tell you guys that often. You guys all want to be heard and feel like you're individuals and have a good time in class while you're learning and have it be fun. So it's not too different. It's just a little different because you're taller. Your vocabulary is a little different. And I would say the material that I have to teach is different. I think that I prefer both of them. Honestly, there's pros and cons to both, but I've enjoyed myself thoroughly here so far. The hugs were always nice, I guess, in elementary school, but I would say that I thoroughly enjoy more of our mature conversations here as well.
If you ever got a chance to go back to teaching elementary school, would you?
I think the only way that I would go back to the elementary school is if I went back to the urban areas where I came from, but that won't be until my children are long grown up and don't need me quite so much anymore.
Teacher, a coach, and a mother. Is that hard to balance all of these jobs?
Yes, it is, but you have to work around and have a good teammate, my husband, and you have to have a good support system, more of your family and friends. And I think that as long as you keep in mind of what's most important, that you don't get caught up and try and make sure that you're not trying to do too much. But yeah, it can become very tricky at times.
Last year was your first year of coaching softball. What was that like?
Oh, that was amazing. I had so much fun with the girls, and I learned so much underneath Coach Shear and Coach Herbs. It was such a great environment, and to see you girls grow and to become better athletes, but also better individuals. And I'm looking forward to this year as well.
Great. What are your expectations for this season?
I'm expecting to, of course, win more games. I'm expecting to see a lot more improvements on the field and when we're batting. I think that we're growing and that we're becoming more mature. Even since just last year and over the summer, I've seen great improvements when you guys were on open field or in the batting cages. So I'm more looking at each individual player and trying to see as a whole of where they're at and how they're growing and progressing.
Thank you for your time. That was great.
No, thank you very much.
Our very own MC.
Well, I was born in Greensburg, Indiana, which is in the southeastern part of the state, kind of a spot between Cincinnati, Indianapolis, and Laville. Went to South Decatur High School, located near Westport, Indiana. Went to Franklin College in Franklin, Indiana, played football and baseball, and met my bride there. Well, when my first place to teach was North Decatur High School, kind of the opposite school of where I went in South Decatur. And then I went to Rushville High School. I taught Center Grove High School, and then the last 30 years I've been at Laville High School. Well, right now I teach 7th and 8th grade health and 9th grade PE. I like to be outside in the woods, and I like to watch sports on TV. Every day is a great day for me. I can't think of a better thing for me to be doing.
Okay. Your first year here at Laville, and Zach Dixon caught up with the Bethel graduate earlier this semester.
What's your name? My name is Daniel Pleninger, Mr. Daniel Pleninger, and I am a ICP 8th grade science and earth science teacher at Laville Junior and Senior High School.
Why did you decide to become a teacher?
I decided to become a teacher because I felt like it was the best way that I could make an impact on my community by helping students get on a path that can lead to success in the future.
What made you think to choose Laville?
I chose Laville because it's a smaller school. It's got a family atmosphere. It's around the South Bend, Mishawaka area, and they offer me the job.
Do you have any plans for after school? Clubs and yeah.
Currently, I am not involved in any clubs or teams. However, I would like to get into coaching, specifically soccer, possibly pursue my master's degree in biology. I received my high school diploma from Liberty Christian High School down in Anderson, Indiana, and I attended Bethel College for 4 years, where I graduated with a bachelor's degree in science education.
List 5 adjectives to describe yourself.
Competitive, passionate, easygoing, flexible, and dependable.
What are some things you enjoy doing?
Things I like to do when I'm not teaching, I like to spend time with my friends, spend time with my family. I like staying outdoors, whether it be hiking or bike riding or playing sports like soccer or basketball.
What do you do in class to help students?
I help students in my classroom by teaching from a lot of different perspectives. I oftentimes use PowerPoints or videos to help students who learn visually. I sometimes lecture through PowerPoints and do examples on the board to help students who learn through sound. And I also use labs as well as practice worksheets to help students who need a hands-on style of teaching. I also try to make everything accessible through multiple modes of media, whether it be on Canvas or online or through actual printed paper. I just try to make myself as accessible as possible to the students so that they'll have an environment where they can learn to their full potential.
What do you believe are the qualities of the excellent teacher?
I believe an excellent teacher is someone who spends time with their students, who cares about their students, and doesn't let their students give up on themselves. An excellent teacher is someone who believes that every student has potential to be successful and does the most that they can to guarantee that student's success. I encourage class participation through group activities, different learning games like Kahoot. I think that group activities and group games or labs allow students to work with people who they're familiar with and who they feel comfortable working with. And when the student feels more comfortable in the classroom, they're more likely to participate in classroom activities.
How would you deal with a student that fell behind in class?
If a student was beginning to fall behind in class, I would do my best to provide one-on-one attention to that student. I would provide all the missing work for that student so that they could catch up. I would make myself as available as possible to meet with that student before or after school if they so chose, to go over material and to review concepts. And then as a last resort, if the student continued to fall behind and was unable to catch up, I would send them to Catch-Up Cafe, not as a punishment, but simply as a time where they have a little extra time to get some of those extra assignments that they're missing made up, so they will be ready for future assessments.
How have classes been going currently?
Classes this year have been going smoothly. All my classes are on schedule and are learning all the material that they're scheduled to learn. We are covering a majority of the Indiana standards, which is good, but it has been very busy and a lot of work, but satisfying as well.
Have you been listening to music or TV? And if you are, what type of music or TV do you watch?
Yes, when I'm not grading papers, oftentimes I'm watching TV. Typically it's whatever sports game is on, whatever football game or basketball game is on TV. And I'm also listening to music while I'm grading papers and when I'm not grading papers. And I listen to any type of music besides country. I recommend all sports. However, my favorites are soccer and basketball.
And up next, the soon-to-be multi-platinum hit by our very own Snoop Shouse.
I'm a beast, I'm a dog, got my Space Jams on. Look at me, who you see? Boy, you got me all wrong. Me, I hoop, me, I rap, me, I hoop some mo, yo. Use the cross, dude, you lost. You can't stop my flow, no. I stay fresh, bet you guess. Ask your girl, I stay crispy. I got her, she got me. Man, she wish she with me. Corey, no, J, Comp, do we do on this mix? We stay fly, don't get high. Check us out on Facebook, Chris. You plus me, do the math, easy like 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we hot, style we spit, still do this stuff for free. Boy, you talk, then you walk, do both, then you hard. Spit your game, talk it hit, 9 plus face equals scar. RHP, GFT, some of us come from Laville. Xbox Live, hoop it up, go to see no South to chill. We go hard, oh so hard, boy, bet you wish you did. Silver Buick, couple Hondas, vroom, vroom, skid, skid.
I just had the craziest dream.
Up next, Mr. McCann, who was interviewed by Zach Dolges.
My name's Nate McCann, and I'm the principal at Laville Junior Senior High School. I learned about Laville while I was the assistant principal at Bremen High School, and I was the assistant principal for 6 years. And while I was there, we competed against Laville in athletic events, academic events, and just through that time, I became familiar with the school district and the school. I think a new teacher, probably one of the most important things is when you're working with your students, they need to know what your expectations are. So as a new teacher, kids need to know what you expect out of them. And then second, probably the second important thing is just making sure that you follow through with those things and being consistent. Three words that I would describe Laville. Well, we're small, and I think we have a family atmosphere, and I think it's a friendly environment. I like that we're small. I think that gives us an advantage over other schools. Being a small school, it gives teachers and administrators and even students the opportunity to know more of their classmates, know more of their students, and build relationships with those people. Like I said, I was at Bremen for 6 years as the assistant principal, and one thing I really liked about Laville is the reasons I like Bremen. We're small, and that's a good fit for me. I like the small learning environment. I like having the opportunity to get to know the teachers. I like the opportunity to get to know students, and I think in a bigger school it's more difficult to do those things. So to me it's an environment that fit my needs, and I think what I had to offer and the experiences I had were a good fit for Laville. What I would like to see happen in the next 10 years at Laville, one is I would like to improve the learning environment. So I would like to see all the classrooms in this building renovated. So updated technology, just newer floors, painted walls, new ceiling tile, just update the classrooms and show a little pride in our building. And I think the other thing is I would like to see us become a 4-star school, and that's going to take a lot of work on all of our parts.
Here's Mr. Walter, who was interviewed by Blake Brady.
Okay, what is your name and what is your job at Laville?
My name is Matthew Walter. I'm a mathematics teacher here at Laville Junior Senior High School.
If you could switch your job with anyone else at Laville, which job would you want?
That's a good question. If I could switch my job. Well, relationships with students are probably the most important part of school for me. So if I had to choose, probably one of the counselors. They get a chance to make relationships with kids that need that relationship. Second choice would probably be somewhere in administration. Yeah.
What are 3 words to describe Laville?
3 words to describe Laville. I would say kind, rural, and it's a tough one, the third one. I would say focused for the most part.
What do you find most challenging at Laville?
Most challenging at Laville. Well, so far this year has been significantly less challenging than my previous year in student teaching. So it's tough to come up with something, but probably just being all on my own. I'm the only Algebra 1 teacher, so making everything myself, coming up with everything myself, and having not much to compare it to know if I'm on the right track or not. It's probably the most challenging part of being here.
What do you like most about Laville?
I like how easygoing the atmosphere is here. I'm free to do, as a teacher, whatever I feel is good teaching practice. Kind of left alone, which is scary in one sense, but good in another, because I don't have anyone kind of breathing down my neck. Not a whole lot of pressure from my department to do certain things. I like that aspect.
What have you gained from working at Laville?
Definitely some independence. Again, going along with that previous point. I've kind of been forced to kind of do everything on my own and be just supportive of myself for the most part. If I've needed support, I've gotten it, but as far as education and academics and all that go, it's been pretty much on my own for coming up with daily lessons and all that stuff, so I've definitely gained some independence.
What is your proudest moment at Laville so far?
It's kind of a collection of moments. It's just, I get on a daily basis, almost daily, at least weekly basis, somebody tells me I'm doing a really good job and that I'm a good teacher, and that just feels good.
How do you balance work, fun, and family?
That's a good one. It's funny because there's balance in there, right? Because that suggests that there is some sort of balance to all of those things. I don't really. I mean, I kind of do, but I kind of don't. It just depends. I tell myself to leave if it's past 4 o'clock and there's no students here. If there's stuff I'm working on and it hits 4:30, it's just I look at the clock and go, well, it's time to go home. And then I go home, see my fiance, relax, and do the kind of things I like to do. But it's tough.
What advice do you have for prospective teachers?
Just in general, or prospective teachers looking for a job here at Laville? Advice. Don't be afraid to make students unhappy. Don't be afraid to say no, but also be willing to understand. Well, be understanding, right?
Now here's Mr. Thomas, who was interviewed by Connor Carlisle.
My name's Wayne Thomas. I'm the business teacher at Laville Junior Senior High School. Currently, I also serve as the DECA advisor, so I work with a lot of the students who want to move into a business role later in school as they get into college and things like that. And I help put them in a position to think about business plans and look at how they can impact their community in the present and in the future.
Before working at Laville, what is the most unusual or interesting job you've ever had?
Before working at Laville, I was actually in the Navy on board a nuclear submarine. And so for 3 months at a time, I would give up sunlight and real friends and internet and Facebook and MySpace and anything else that you actually enjoy in life. And throughout that, I actually got to see the entire country. So I moved from Connecticut to Washington State, Hawaii, California, Florida, Virginia, and then Georgia. So it was a good experience. Service, leadership, and personal growth. And I've gotten to see all of those here. What do I like most about Laville? I like being able to work with the kids that go all the way from 7th grade through 12th and get to kind of see the maturity change and their perspectives and just see them go from young adults into adults that graduate and move into the real world. My favorite one right now is probably entrepreneurship. You get to work with kids that see an opportunity out in the community, and they can come up with their own ideas of how to maintain and create different business opportunities out there. It's actually a pretty delicate balance because there are still things you have to do even once the classroom shuts down and the children go home. But you've got your own at home that you want to take care of also. So I dedicate most of the weekends to working with them, and then after he goes to sleep at night is when I'm able to stay up and really get to cracking at work again. The advice I have, I would tell them that it is well worth it, especially at a small school like this where you can really embrace the community aspect of a junior senior high school.
Have a merry day,
Lancers.
Lancers.